not believe this. It just started recording.
See that?
I was wondering,
So
like,
you
what's
mean
going on?
all what I said?
We just started recording.
I'll punch you. Seriously, I'll. Okay.
uh,
Let me see if I can catch up to everything I
all right,
said.
no problem.
So
Okay.
as we come down to the story of Maryam alayha salatu wassalam, so
Yeah.
I'm going to break her life into three stages: her
All right.
strength and her point of vulnerability, and the lesson for the modern woman.
Welcome to PAC podcast, where we water your spirituality, creativity, mental health, and digital growth. Yes.
So what are her strengths? The strength of Maryam alayha salatu wassalam is that she's a very devoted woman. She devoted 16 years of her life in the temple, serving and worshipping Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Alright? That's her strength, that devotion, that absolute tawakkul, that trust in Allah. Absolute tawakkul, absolute
Mm.
devotion. She lived in isolation to devote her time and everything to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala in the temple for 16 years. These are her strengths. So what are her vulnerabilities? So I think first, to me, the point of vulnerability to Maryam alayha salatu wasalam, her point of vulnerability is isolation, is the fear of judgment from people, people's opinion. People called her names, people labeled her, people stigmatized her, but she was steadfast on her purpose.
Point.
All right. So that point of I mentioned point of isolation, that point of her being isolated, that point of her being judged, that point of early motherhood. She was 16. She conceived a baby and gave birth to that child, and she now have to raise that baby, right? So that's
Yeah.
early motherhood. Aside of early motherhood, that labor itself, that labor of childbirth, even though Allah was instructing her from heaven to shake the tree trunk and to shake the date tree, the palm tree, so that she can get nourished from the dates, but she went through the labor herself. So these are her points of vulnerability. So how does this relate to the modern women? How does it relate to my life and other women's life? Is that even if you leave, no matter how close you are to Allah, in fact, Allah tests people who are closer to Him. So don't
Yes.
think that Allah will not test you. Allah, you can say that Allah, I fast, Allah, I pray, I do what you say, but Allah, why me? It's because Allah loves you that Allah tests you in the ways He tests you, so that He can test your trust in Him.
Wow.
I think for modern women like us, what our key lesson is the trust of Allah.
Nice.
Do you trust Allah that whatever trials that befalls you, you know is from Him and He's going to give you a way out of it? Do you? I don't need an answer now, but I want us to use it for introspection, right? How do we trust Allah? What's our level of trust? Are we part of those that when Allah befalls a test or a trial to us, we collapse and say, we whine and we complain and we say, Allah did this to me, Allah did that to us? We are humans anyway.
Yeah,
So
we
yeah,
are.
there's all these are human tendency. But
Mm.
okay, how do we raise our level of tawakkul in Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala? That's one, right?
Islam.
So I think Maryam alayhi salam didn't allow the opinions of others clouded her judgment or not do the purpose of her purpose in life, but she was focused in order to harness the potential or in order to support the mission and the vision of Prophet Isa alayhi salatu wasalam. As a mother
Mm.
of today, as a contemporary woman and mother, how do you first identify the purpose, the talent of your son or daughter, and how will you support her achieve that talent, achieve that purpose, reach her full potential? How do you hone her skills so that she can get to where she's supposed to be? So I think this is the lesson for contemporary mothers and also for single mothers. So singleness can come from different angles. So I was sharing with you that a friend was sharing that her friend's husband got missing for the past 4 months. So
mm,
imagine she just gave birth. She's now a mother of, she has a daughter 4 months old. And even prior to her birth, the birth of her baby, her husband got missing. She's now a single mother. So how will you raise that child when society still judge you, and people's opinion will always direct focus and point at you? So I think
mm,
the lesson in general for this is how women, Muslim women, young, old, and working class, stay-at-home moms, women struggling, don't allow people's opinion define who you are.
Point.
Rather, be steadfast on your focus, be focused on your mission, be focused on the vision you have for yourself. Don't allow other people's opinion deter you from doing what you think you're supposed to do.
mm.
That's one, because Maryam alayhi salatu wasalam went through that, and she was focused and steadfast alongside Isa alayhi salatu wasalam until he completed his purpose and mission. So I think her strength, we've discussed her strength, we've discussed her points of vulnerability is being a single mother. I have to suffer from, have to have that fear of judgment from people, looking at the lineage she came from, and also opinions of others to them. So in general, the life of Maryam alayhi salatu wasalam is an example for me and you and for all the general public to learn from. We can learn from her steadfastness, we can learn from her devotion, even though we can't do like she does, but we can do it in that little way that we can, because Allah will judge you based on your efforts.
Point.
So no effort is little. That small thing you do, that smile on your face, that kind advice you give to a sister, that hug that someone needed the most, that
Yeah.
listening ear that you give to someone who is trying to pour out and nobody is there, and
Point.
holding that trust, that amana of what they see that you won't tell others, so that people should not judge them because of what they just told you in some minutes or there. So I think this is what we can say about Maryam alayhi salatu wasalam. May Allah elevate her status, and may Allah make
Um,
us imitate her good
Jannah.
character.